All right, y'all. All right, y'all. What's your boy Versatile Red back with another video. I got a couple ideas that I was thinking about the other day. I seen Hip Hop Gamer live stream on 2K25, right? So I'm just thinking. I know they got LeBron era and they got Curry era and stuff like that. But my thoughts is why they don't why they don't make the new 2K that's coming out next year, I guess, or whenever they want to do it. uh do a draft, like an NBA draft in every era. And when I mean like every era, I'm talking about maybe from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. Do it like that. And do it to where you could get drafted by a certain team, and then during that time period, use the NBA rules during that time period and play basketball. So, for example, I know back then they didn't have a 3 point line. So put the rules into where of course not you could shoot jump shots anywhere, but make like a basketball court with no 3 point line, make a game mode with no 3 point line. All it is in the paint, mid range, whatever you want to call it, right? Also, why they don't do like when you get drafted in every era, you could choose a team, or you could choose a team like you normally do, choose a team to go to, and you play for that team with those historical players. Also, play with just about every, not gonna say every, but I don't know how they want to do it, but do it just to about every NBA team back then and that roster at that time with those rules in that time period. So basically, like, let's say, during Jordan early era with Bad Boy Pistons and the Celtics, they could do where you could do different animations, as in, you could, I ain't gonna say fight, but like you could wrestle, not gonna say wrestle, but like you could tussle, you could grab, you could hand check, you could do all kind of stuff, like, what I'm saying, like you could do like how the NBA was during that time period. I think 2K would be better, and it would be something different to where they have um old school and new school, and old school um back then, or like 60s, 70s, the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. They could do a different era. You could choose an era, get drafted during that era, and play with those players during that time. And then I think it will draw in more people because it's something new. It's gonna be something different. For example, back then you could say like the basketball goal height was different. So the goal was kind of a little lower, or the goal a little higher, or they might play with a different texture of the basketball, or they played a different side, different kind of like courts. You know how they have blacktop, right? So why, like, before like they get drafted, go play a couple games in the neighborhood. So you know how we was raised where we played basketball with our neighbors, and we had like a curve here, a curve. We had the curve is out of bounds. I mean, the front curve is the out of bounds, the back curve is the out of bounds. We had a basketball goal. We might put some weights, some sit-up blocks on the back of the basketball goal to hold it up, or we might put water in the basketball goal, like how, I don't know if y'all had a basketball goal with the one you go add water to. We could do something like that, and play like little basketball pickup games, like make it like a neighborhood, but you play as a kid, or you might play as a teenager. Don't make it to where like you're an NBA player or you're a college player. Make it to like you was a kid. So do like a progression system where you go from a kid to a teenager to adult, and you can do like the whole journey in that, but do it in any era, and then make it like when you play on the streets or in your neighborhood, make the feel of the basketball game different from playing on the streets, to play it in college level, to play it in the NBA. And what I mean by that is you can feel a different texture of the hardwood floors, or the concrete floors, or the dryways, or however you want to put it, make it feel different. So I think you should do that. Also, I also think you should choose. I mean, like, just like every 2K, you could choose like what brand you want to go through and stuff like that. Even like, let's say in when Nike wasn't as big as it was during Magic and Bird time. So they had like, you could say what, not Adidas. It could be Adidas and Converse, some stuff like that. Like, so I think they could do so much more doing and implementing those those things in the game. to keep it fresh. Like, I think this will be the best 2K if they do it like that. You choose any era, you get drafted to that team in that era, and you play against players during that era. You know what I'm saying? So this is my little thoughts about it, about 2K. I know 2K, they do a little something different every year, but I really want people to think about that. And also, when you play online multiplayer or you want to play Reg Park, you could choose, you could choose your clothes style. Like, I mean, you could choose clothes however you want. Like, I know that, but basketball players back then, they wear higher shorts. They might have Converse. Like, I think when you get drafted, you wear the attire, not attire, but like you wear the at that time period clothes. You know what I'm saying? Or at that time period, uniforms, team uniforms. They already got the implemented the system of you can play with old characters, stuff like that. You can play old basketball players from back then. Why does not make a game with multiple eras? You ain't necessarily gotta do the 60s. You could do what when Magic started or when Kareem started. Or you could say like this, late 70s. Well, I'll say the late 70s, early 80s, and then go from there to now. You know what I'm saying? That would be good. That would be good. They'll bring more people in. They have old players to come in. Could be like, oh, they got these players coming in. They got these old. I could get drafted in the 70s. I could get drafted in the 80s, and you could actually play in with those same rules they had at the time. I think. Let me tell you this: if they added Jordan era. Bird, Detroit Piston era, and you do animations where you could tackle somebody. Not gonna say tackle somebody, but you could grab them, you could hard foul them, hard check them, and the referees don't call it. That will be game breaking. That will be game breaking. What I mean by game breaking is it will add new gameplay elements to the game, and then you could make online player or make a mode to where hard foul rules. Where you in the NBA, every shot is not easy. You could make it kind of like NBA Street type, or you know how NFL Street was. You could tackle people and you could like blitz, NFL Blitz, where it's kind of like I ain't gonna say do it to that extreme, but like you could do hard fouls, do it like that. You know what I'm saying? They could implement certain things and certain items in the game that add new elements to the gameplay, and animations will be crazy. Think about using Bad Boy Pistons, getting drafted to Bad Boy Pistons and being able to hard foul and do all that stuff like that. It brings a new element to it. But this your boy Versatile Reds. Like, comment, subscribe. Happy boy out. Peace out.